Another moment that changes a man's life is when he faces his own mortality, the death of someone close, unexpected death, the death of somebody that you love who might have had a debilitating disease and a decline that you watched and you felt helpless over. And then when you realize your days on earth are numbered, your weekends are numbered, you could have a close call, you could have a diagnosis that scares you. You go to a funeral and you see a friend. My best friend of 40 years killed himself. Literally put a gun to his chest, pulled the trigger. That was life-changing for me. That was a moment that made me a different person when I got that phone call. So what happens is you start realizing your time on earth is very finite. And you start cutting away the fat and the trivial stuff. And your purpose sharpens. And I would say that was a moment when my best friend killed himself. I had a lot of questions. I was very sad, very sad. I hadn't had a cry like that in a long... I cried for a day. Did you ever cry for a whole day? I never did in my life. I mean, I've had family members pass away, and you cry for a few hours, and then you're sad for a long time. I cried for a straight day, one straight day. It was just the weirdest thing. Then someone said to me, when it comes to suicide, you're going to get angry. I said, how's that? And they go, just watch. Man, like clockwork, about 2 months after grieving and feeling sad that my buddy took himself out, I started getting angry at him. I'm driving in the truck, my 20-year-old truck. I'm driving in the truck, and I just started talking to him as if he was there. It was the weirdest thing. And I got angry, and I was like, Craig, why did you do that? Why didn't you call me? What the hell was going through your head? I got so angry. And I'm still kind of angry that he killed himself. Now, the anger is kind of calming down, but it's been 5 years. And there's no closure. When somebody takes their life, there's no closure. You don't get peace from that. You live with that. And it forever changed my life. It was weird. So what happens now is I start thinking about my legacy. I look at his legacy and I'm like, he had a fun life. He contributed to a lot of people's lives. He made a lot of people laugh, but his ending was tragic. And I'm like, I'll be damned if I have a tragic ending. And so you start thinking more and more about legacy, more than ever. It's not just age that makes you think of legacy. It's the temporal nature of life that makes you start thinking of legacy. That's why I say you have to build something that outlives you. Some people say that's kind of morbid. You know, it's like the monks of medieval times, the brothers of death, who would say to each other, memento mori, but remember, there's death. It can be a morbid way of looking at it, but also it gives you a sense of urgency if you think about it. If you know you're going to die, you're not going to be here forever, you kind of speed up, you get a little more efficient, you try to get things done. So legacy matters more than comfort in your life.